So where do I start? So I think, if I had to give, I don't really like giving scores to games. I like, let's start saying this. I am definitely biased because I like the samurai movies, like Kurosawa movies, all that stuff. So I'm really digging the style they used in this game. They were definitely inspired too by those movies. Doing a lot of things in this game that if you play it you will experience that are very similar with what happens in the movies. So I am biased, and this was nearly a perfect game for me, nearly. But it's not a perfect game. There is issues for sure. So I can't really give it a 10 out of 10. I wish I could. And when I finished it, it definitely got way closer to 10 out of 10. So I would just give it a 9 out of 10, but I definitely like it way more than The Last of Us. Way more than The Last of Us. The Last of Us, it's kinda like... It made me feel, The Last of Us 2 made me feel, but I didn't get that attached to the entire story and characters like I did in Ghost of Tsushima, that's for sure. I really like the story, without spoiling anything. The one thing, I mean, it's not story spoilers. It is like... Okay, I'm gonna say something. You can skip this part. I might give like a timestamp to skip this part. Because some people might consider the spoilers, but it's not like me telling about a part of the story or anything. But I was expecting this game, since it's Sucker Punch, people that made Infamous, and those games were always about you are either good or bad, and your playthrough completely changes on how you play, what choices you pick. This is not that type of game, and there is nothing wrong about it. They just wanted to tell a story, and they tell a great story that I really loved. It was just a big surprise to me that Sucker Punch, people that are so good at like making those games, all the Infamous games where you always had those choices, getting away from that and just telling a full Ghost of Tsushima story they wanted to tell with like very little choices. But I still loved it. The gameplay is very fun. When it comes to samurai hand-to-hand sword combat, the animations and playstyle, everything about it is really good, in my opinion. The problematic part is the stealth. And I think the stealth is fun. The core of the stealth is fun. The amount of tools and everything you get to make it like not only push one button but use multiple things is very well made. The problem is the AI. When you fight like sword to sword with the AI, they are quite smart. Like they dodge things, they get tougher and tougher as the game goes. So there's no problem with that, but when it comes to stealth, the AI just gets really dumb. And I played the game on the hardest difficulty. And it just like I'm not surprised that I heard a lot of people said that when they like did a full stealth playthrough, and I played most of my game without stealth. I'm not surprised when they played fully stealth, they said the game is too easy, because like I was playing on the hardest difficulty and I tried stealth eventually, and yeah, like you can literally kill someone in front of another person, and if they are just like, instead of being 5 meters next to you, they're like 15 meters or something, and they're looking straight at the person you're killing, they're not gonna react. That's how bad the AI is when it comes to stealth. So I think it's a matter of a big patch to just like change the numbers or something on the AI, and like you can get in a fight with some Mongols in the same camp when there is like a bunch of other Mongols around, and they can like scream. You can have a like all-out fight with them, and the others will not react, even when they like blow horns and stuff. They're not gonna come to you and all start fighting you, and that would make the game a lot harder. And it could be a decision they wanted to like this game to not be that hard, but at the same time, that's why the hard difficulty is for, right? So I wish the hard difficulty would just make the AI very, very intelligent when it comes to stealth, instead of just adding HP and damage and that stuff. That's my like design issue in this game that makes it like less than a 10 for me. There wasn't that many bugs. There was some. I had some weird bugs sometimes happening, some weird issues, but not that many for how big this game is, for sure. Another problem. Soft lock on camera. They decided in this game to not go the Dark Souls Zelda style camera where you lock on to an enemy and with a button and never just like turn away, turn around until you push the button again. They just soft lock on to enemies for you when where you are looking with your camera, and it gets really messy at times. I really don't like it. It's probably the worst part about this game. The soft lock on camera. I think that's another thing they could change with a patch too, to make it closer to a perfect game for sure. And what else? If you are gonna play this game on PS4, not a PS4 Pro, this game drops FPS a lot. There is rarely a moment where you are at stable 30 FPS. It's a shame. I don't fully blame the devs. There's also Sony to blame here for sure, like false advertising and them promoting. I remember when they said like, oh yeah, we are releasing PS4 Pros. That's how you're gonna be able to choose like 4K resolution or 60 FPS in like Neo and other games. In this game, the performance mode, as far as I know, keeps you at 30 FPS still, but just makes it stay at 30 FPS. And if you have a PS4 from the day one launch, like I do, in like to compare it, The Last of Us is not an open world game, but has way better graphics than this game. And The Last of Us never dropped below 30 FPS for me. I don't think it ever dropped. And this game dropped a lot. And there was only one time when it was super bad, like 18 FPS or something below 20. But there's a lot of times where it drops to around 20. The low 20s for sure. You can feel it drop from 30s to low 20s for sure. So I'm not a person that gets sick very easily, but I could see some people not being able to finish this game with this frame rate, for sure. And it's a big issue. So those flaws together definitely make this game a like a very, very, I should say it, very, very strong 9, like 9 plus out of 10. For me, that's for sure. Because 10 means a game is perfect. This is not a perfect game. But it's a very close 10, for sure, for me at least, in my opinion. And outside of like the flaws and gameplay, graphics are not as realistic as The Last of Us, but the colors, the cinematic shots, very like artsy, all this stuff. And the graphics are not bad at all either. It's like super good. The music is super good. I played in Japanese. I watched people play the beginning of the game in English. And that's another, like, it's a small problem for me. I understand their decision. Lip sync in this game, the lips are, the lip movement is connected to English. This time not a dub. This is a weird occasion where English is not a dub, Japanese is a dub. But I really didn't like the English when I was watching some people play it, and I'm glad I played from the beginning till the end in Japanese. The lip sync, the lips were not synced with Japanese, so it's not a huge problem for me. I still enjoyed the Japanese enough to forget about the lips not syncing with what they say. I really like the the voices they picked, and I heard like there's a lot of people who uh, like voice act to like well-known anime and stuff that voice acted in this game in Japanese version, and they've made a great job. It was very well made. What else? I talked about the gameplay, I talked about the graphics, music is amazing too. Story is amazing too. What else? I mean, is there something I didn't talk about without spoiling anything? There was one questionable decision. I mean, it's not really gonna be a spoiler from me, it's a spoiler from the devs. I'm not gonna talk about story, but first time ever they showed this game at like E3 or something. They showed a full mission. This mission was a pretty big spoiler in my opinion. And I don't watch trailers before the game releases, usually, like the launch trailers and stuff, but I do watch game reveals. And even that it was like 2 or 3 years ago or something, at E3 they showed this game for the first time, I still remember that mission. And it's a mission that's very far into the game, and I'm baffled that they showed this. I was pretty pissed off. It could have been worse, but it was still a spoiler, so I'm pretty disappointed with devs that they showed this a long time ago. Even that most people probably forgot about this, and I still remembered. I was, until the very last second, I was hoping that they just like changed that quest, and it was like something that's not gonna be included in the game. But it was, and that's a big spoiler in my opinion. I didn't like that at all. So that's the another issue I had here, but it's not really with the game, but the devs promoting it a long time ago. But yeah, and last thing I'm gonna say, I guess that could like make my opinion even stronger here is I'm trying not to spoil anything, but The Last of Us made me feel for sure, but I don't think I had a moment in The Last of Us where I cried, and this game made me tear up. Like, not ugly cry, but definitely I had tears in my eyes for sure. So that's how good the story was for me in my opinion. And yeah, like a strong 9 out of 10, maybe 9 plus out of 10, because I'm pretty sure I said I give The Last of Us a 9. Maybe I'm mistaken, maybe I gave it like a 8 or something, but I'm pretty sure I gave it a 9, so I like this game more than The Last of Us for sure. And yeah, I wasn't disappointed at all. And yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, that was my opinion. After beating the game, now I'm gonna clear the rest of the objectives we have left. And yeah. Thank you for watching, guys.